Hello students, so today we will be starting with a new topic. The new topic name is Legislature. This chapter is present in the class 11 book of political science, and today we will be discussing what do you mean by legislature. You see, we know about the organs of the government, the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. If I talk about the legislature, legislature means implementing the laws. The department which implement laws and policies are known as the legislature. So here, why do we need a parliament? Before going to the legislature, we will be understanding why do we need a parliament. So the legislature is not merely a lawmaking body. Lawmaking is one of the function of the legislature. It is the center of all democratic processes and political ground. It is packed with action, walkouts, protest, demonstration, unanimity, concern and cooperation. Now what do you mean by legislature? You see, legislature is not only the lawmaking body. It is not only the lawmaking body, but it is also related to the democratic processes and political grounds. Other political grounds are there, other democratic processes are there. This all comes under the legislature, first of all. And second of all, it carries out with a lot of action, which protests are there, walkouts are there, demonstration, unanimity, concern and cooperation. This all comes under the legislature. Also, indeed, a genuine democracy is inconceivable without a representative, efficient and effective legislature. The legislature also helps people in holding representatives accountable. This is indeed the very basis of representative democracy. Now here we will be understanding about representative democracy. Now what do you understand by representative democracy? You see, under the legislature we hold representatives as well, which actually represents our country. So the selection or the election of the representatives comes under the legislature process itself. Also, on the other hand, it is also known as the representative democracy. Yet in most democracies, legislatures are losing central place to the executive. In India too, the cabinet initiates policies, sets the agenda for the governance and carries them through. This had led some critics to remark the parliament has declined. Now, yet in most democracies, you see, in most of the democracies, the legislature has lost the central place. They have lost the central place to the executive, which means most of the work is done by the executive itself rather than the legislature. So as a result, in India, the cabinet too initiates policy, sets the agenda for governance and carries them through. This has led critics to remark the parliament has declined. Now, the cabinet are there, the cabinet under the executive are there. The cabinet under the executive now implement laws, now implement policies. Also, on the other hand, they carries out with the help of those policies. So, this has led to the critics to remark the parliament has declined. Now, what had happened? The parliament has declined to a massive extent because most of the work is done by the executive itself rather than the legislature. A strong leader has to face the parliament and answer to the satisfaction of the parliament. Herein lies the democratic potential of the parliament. It is recognized as one of the most democratic and open forum of debate. On account of its composition, it is the most representative of all organs of the government. Very, very important. If we talk here about the strong leader is actually answerable to the people and actually answerable to the parliament first of all, and second of all, it gives a satisfaction to the parliament. You see, if there is a strong leader, then it will give a mandatory satisfaction to the parliament itself. So herein there comes the democratic potential of the parliament. It is recognized as one of the most democratic and open forum of debate. On account of its composition, you see, on account of this composition, if I talk about the parliament, it is the representative form of government. There will be one representative which will actually be demonstrating the parliament. So for that reason only we need the parliament. I hope you have understood regarding the parliament. Here, why do we need two houses of parliament? Now we will be understanding about the two houses of the parliament, that why do we need the two houses of the parliament. You see, first comes the term parliament refers to the national legislature. The legislature of the state is described as the state legislature. The parliament in India has two houses. When there are two houses of the legislature, it is called bicameral legislature. The two houses of the Indian parliament, or the council of states, or the Rajya Sabha, and the House of People, or the Lok Sabha. Now here we will be knowing about what do you actually mean by the parliament? You see, parliament is the national legislature first of all, and if there are two houses of the parliament, then this is termed to be as the bicameral legislature. Very, very important. There are total 5 states which has bicameral legislature first of all. Here we will be understanding about the bicameral legislature, means the two houses. The two houses of the parliament are considered to be the bicameral legislature. Also, it is known as the House of the People. House of the People, or the House of the People. We will be understanding about the two houses. I'm so sorry. Here, bicameral legislature. Now, what do you mean by the bicameral legislature? You see, first of all comes the Council of the States. The Council of the States is known as the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha. First comes the Rajya Sabha, which is known as the Council of the State, and Lok Sabha is known as the House of the People. So the two houses under the bicameral legislature. First comes the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is known as the Council of the States, and Lok Sabha is known as the House of the People. I hope so you have understood this one. And second point comes, the Constitution has given the states the option of establishing either a unicameral or bicameral legislature. As present, only 5 states have a bicameral legislature. You see, majority of the states in our country have a unicameral legislature, but there are only 5 states which has bicameral legislature. Those 5 states are Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh. They have bicameral legislature, these 5 states. Also, on the other hand, bicameral legislature depends on the functioning of a particular state and the area of the state. Through that reason only the bicameral legislature comes into practice. Now, countries with large size and much diversity usually prefer to have two houses of national legislature to give representation to all sections in the society and to give representation to all geographical regions or the parts of the country. Now, countries which with much larger size and with much bigger diversity, you see, there are countries which has a large size and much bigger diversity, so those have two houses. Those two houses are termed to be as the bicameral legislature first of all. But other states which other state which don't have much population, which don't have much diversity, they will be going with the unicameral legislature. And also, on the other hand, a bicameral legislature makes it possible to have every decision reconsidered, as every decision taken by one house goes to the other house for its decision. This means that every bill and policy would be discussed twice. Now, a bicameral legislature makes it possible to have every decision reconsidered. Now, if I talk about the bicameral legislature here, a bicameral legislature makes it possible to have every decision reconsidered, as every decision taken by one house goes to the other house for its decision. Now, under the bicameral legislature, what is the policy? You see, if one house is unable to take the decision, that decision will be taken by the other house, which means the decision will be passing. Two houses can take the decision completely. So this is the main advantage of the bicameral legislature. This means every bill and policy, if there is the decision of every bill and policy, the first house will be taking the discussion, and then it will be proceeding to the second house. So this is one of the advantage of the bicameral legislature. Now, we will be understanding about the two houses of the parliament. Now, what are the two houses of the parliament? This comes very important. The parliament comprised of two houses, the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha is known as the House of People. Very, very important. The Lok Sabha is known as the House of People, and the Rajya Sabha is known as the Council of States. The Lok Sabha is known as the House of People, and the Rajya Sabha is known as the Council of the States. Okay, so here you see both of them actually forms the bicameral legislature. The Lok Sabha, also known as the lower house, is directly elected by 543 members holding greater power over money, bills and government formation. The Rajya Sabha is a permanent upper house with 245 members representing state interest and ensuring legislative review. Now, if I talk about the Lok Sabha here, how many total members are there in the Lok Sabha? There are total 543 members in the Lok Sabha. 543 members are there in the Lok Sabha, and in the Rajya Sabha there are total 245 members. So 245 members are under the Rajya Sabha. I hope so you have understood regarding the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Also, we have understood what do you mean by the parliament and what is the bicameral legislature and the bicameral legislature. So if you want to know any of the courses regarding our institute, then you can contact us in this number 86383 91721. And thank you for watching my video.